if somebody finds that they have a beer in the Brite, well, it could be either. Let's say either in the fermenter or in a Brite tank, and there's more sulfur in it than they want to have in it. Aside from time, are there any levers that can be pulled in order to speed up that process of the reduction of the impression of sulfur in the beer?
Yeah, you kind of have two options. You can scrub it. So that means basically bubbling CO2 through it and venting that. The risk there is that you lose other aromas in that process. The sulfur's these are very light molecules, very small molecules. So they will come out of solution and they are typically pretty quick to flash off, but you're always going to lose some aroma doing it that way. The other option is oxidize them, which is probably not a great option. You probably don't want to just like bubble oxygen through the beer, but there are chemical ways to oxidize a product. So, what some brewers or distillers or winemakers will do is they'll transfer the product through a pipe that has a little bit of copper in it. Copper will chemically oxidize whatever it is that's passing through. So kind of like that's an old, especially for distillers, that's an old trick of, pass the product through a hose with a copper pipe in it, and you can scrub out that sulfur pretty effectively. Again, it's going to oxidize other stuff. If you got dry hops in there, it's bad news.
It's interesting you mentioned that, because that's always one of the things that I've heard is that you can just rig up some copper in line with that transfer. I think that's fascinating, but you bring up an excellent point. We're talking about, if you are talking about something hop forward, you're probably going to be smashing up the impression of that at the same time.
Yeah, it's always better to fix sulfur upstream proactively.
Sure.